Old friends begin a new season of college basketball. A crosstown showdown, the Division III McMurray Warhawks. And from the WAC, the Abilene Christian Wildcats. Welcome to Moody Coliseum and Happy New Year, Coach. Let's go again.
Let's do it again.
First night of college basketball. So glad to have you with us here on ESPN+. Coach, players have been getting ready for this night all summer, all fall. For a player and a coach, what's it like, and what is each team hoping to accomplish tonight?
I think both teams want to be stretched. They want to be pushed. McMurray's going to see people in passing lanes they've never seen before. ACU is going to probably see a little zone action, so they're going to get better.
Well, both teams have some questions to answer, and those will begin being answered tonight. Let's take a look at a couple of our impact players, beginning with Jalen Cherry of McMurray. New coach for the Warhawks, but he brings back a proven performer.
6'4" local product from Abilene Cooper, does a little bit of everything with 8 boards a game and 12 points at 6'4". That is fantastic.
And how about Braden Hubbard, the all-conference selection for the Wildcats?
Braden Hubbard is a man amongst boys. That is a gigantic man, and that's going to be his dressing room this year.
All right, let's meet the third member of our broadcast team tonight, Zion Webb, courtside.
Guys, last time these two teams faced each other, 101-55 was the final score, the way of the Wildcats. But things always didn't used to be this way, as back in the day in 1930, when these two teams first played each other, 22-19 was the much more modest score. Today will be, if McMurray wins, the 50th year that McMurray hasn't beaten the Wildcats. We'll see what happens today, see if they get rolling and start their season. Want to know, Grant, back to you.
At least someone from that 1974-75 McMurray team is in the house tonight. And he's sitting next to me. We'll talk about that as the night goes on. This is kind of a homecoming tonight. You've got degrees from both universities.
Yeah, I do.
Let's have some fun.
Don't tell the dean here.
Chris Hudson, Eric Dust, Hunter Bashirs are our officials. We are underway, and Rich Smith in his second season as the point guard for the Wildcats gets things started. And has the ball knocked away, and a quick whistle. There is the starting five for Abilene Christian. Some new faces, Coach. Zy Wright, 5th school in 5 years, and Sibo Newton comes over from Grambling. Joseph Vinzant seems new because he only played about a month for ACU last year.
Well, Joseph was here last year and got hurt. I think he only played 8 games last year, but he is an enzyme. He's magic on the floor. He's a perpetual motion.
Did you learn that at Abilene Christian or McMurray?
ACU.
Your science degree. All right, here is Vinzant with single digits on the timer. Sibo Newton, the lefty for 3. Nice way to start his Abilene Christian career.
Yeah, absolutely. It's inside out with the basketball.
3-0 Abilene Christian. Starting 5 for the Warhawks. Jordan Malvo, Amari LaFleur. And a nice kiss from Malvo.
You know what?
The Warhawks are on the board.
When you're an underdog, and they are a decided underdog, McMurray I'm talking about, you want to see that first shot go in.
Early, right?
Yeah, as early as possible, as many as possible.
Vinzant drives and has it knocked away. Newton again. He finally missed. Took him
2 shots.
Just a couple of seconds. So he's 1 for 2, and it'll be Warhawks ball.
See, this is the part I was talking about being stretched. McMurray got lost on some switches right there, and thus the open shot. That's not going to happen a great deal this year in the WAC.
McMurray from about 10 minutes across town over on South 14th and Sales. This is Malvo working the baseline and rejected by Sibo Newton, and Sibo's coming the other way. Shaladrian, he prefers Sibo. Here's Mashai Hill, the junior from Austin, getting his second career start. Zy Wright for 3. A little too strong.
Let's watch Mashai Hill this year, Grant. This is a year he's got to pay dividends. He's put on a lot of weight. His IQ is increased.
Good weight, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
McMurray for the 3 in the lead. Amari LaFleur came over with Matt Bolton, one of 5 players to come with Coach Bolton from the University of the Ozarks. And the Warhawks have the early lead. Rich Smith to the bucket. No whistle, letting the play early.
So part of that new block charge.
And LaFleur finds a cutting Cherry. but a turnover for the Warhawks.
You know, they're going to negate the block charge this year.
Yeah.
I saw you talking to Coach Bolton before the game. If you have to be in place as a group, as they regroup.
Here's another look at it. And a travel was the call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
On Cherry. This is right from near Augusta, Georgia. And what do we have, a whistle? And a foul away from the ball, denying the takeaway. And I think they're going to get Jordan Kamga. And here comes
Hubbard.
Braden Hubbard, as you take a look at that replay. Hubbard at the right elbow there. Preseason, all WAC, led the team in scoring last season. Battling tonsillitis in the off season, leading up to the season. So trying to get his lungs back in order. And Braden to the bucket, into the corner, touch pass. Smith is not a three-point threat, but he's bumped as he drove to the bucket. Kamga picks up his second foul in a hurry.
That's a real good ball movement by the Wildcats this year. So far away, I mean, this year.
Their best of the season by far, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely unequivocally. But I think McMurray's getting switched up a little bit.
So Matt Bolton subs in. Coy Rondino comes in for Kamga. Here's 25, Rondino. And Coach Bolton standing up there on the Warhawks sideline in his first season. Mashai Hill, the big fella, bounces to Smith. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Knocked out of the hands by Malvo.
You know, Coach Bolton right now, I think he's pretty pleased with what he sees. He spends in a 2-hour workout. I've watched several. He spends about almost, I don't know, an hour and a half just doing defense. They don't shoot. To
the point that he says it's a little bit like Hoosiers and Coach Dale. Like, when do we get to actually shoot the ball? Vincent's going to shoot. He's going to make. Joseph Vincent, you can see that right shoulder taped up. It's been a problem ever since he's been at Liberty. Transferred last year to ACU. Only got about a month of the season before he had to shut it down. Abilene Christian with the lead. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it'll be ACU ball. Coach, how about this? The Wildcats of Abilene Christian under Joe Golding and Brett Tanner, when they built the team that went to the NCAA tournament twice, beat Texas in that second year, as you take another look at Vinzant's three, they led the nation every year in turnovers forced. Then the block charge rule changed. Coach Tanner, a defensive specialist, regrouped, and what happened? They led the league, led the nation last year in turnovers forced again. What does that tell you about Brett Tanner?
Got a nice culture. He recruits a nice motor. You know, when you talk to Joe Golding, who's now at UTEP, you talk to Tanner, who's obviously here at ACU. But one of the first things they look at is they look at size and grades, all the other stuff, but they look at the motor, the spiritual side of the kid. And if they can't take being coaching hard, or coached hard, they're not going to make it.
Here is Braden Hubbard at the line to shoot a couple. He was an 87% free throw shooter last year. He gets off to a good start here. 7-5 early. McMurray did have that lead briefly.
One of the things I'm going to watch this year is the bigs. Cade Honecker, who just checked in the game, the 7-footer. He's been more of a distributor. He hasn't been offensive-minded. I'm hoping he's a little more offensive-minded. And Mashai Hill, I mentioned him as well, but Mashai and Cade have to pay benefits this year.
So 2 for 2 at the line for Hubbard. And a little bit of pressure here from Abilene Christian. Division III against Division I, as Zion mentioned, it's a rivalry that goes back nearly 100 years, and it was fierce back in the day. Nice drive and a finish with the left hand by Rondino. And a takeaway by McMurray as Abilene Christian gives one away.
That's a stretch. I mean, we're looking at stretches right now. Defined as turnovers, being caught out of position. Like, he took him off the dribble all the way in with the left hand, a nice layup.
That was Christian Alston who just checked in, the sophomore from Memphis. And coming free, unable to finish, is Jarrell Peoples. And coming the other way is ACU. And throwing it down with one hand. Rich and getting famous. To answer, no. Long rebound, Alston. Outlet to Smith from the other direction. Denied. And out of bounds it goes. And Smith lands hard. First media timeout. Rich Smith getting everybody fired up in a hurry. The miss turns into a thunderous finish the other way. It's just a gorgeous night here in the Big Country, home of both McMurray and Abilene Christian. Glad to have you with us on opening night of college basketball. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. Coach, for McMurray, enjoy the spotlight, not on national television very often. And for ACU, tonight begins the attempt to establish some identity.
Yeah, role playing. Who's going to be? They lost. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they lost of the top 4 scorers. They lost 3.
Yeah.
Braden's the only returning guy in double digits. Now, the rest of those guys are role players. Braden took over. I think probably the last half of the season.
He did. Yeah.
Or he wouldn't have averaged double digits. So they are finding themselves and falling into place. But you got to have role players on every team.
There's Matt Bolton in his first season at McMurray. And he said, we're trying to establish a new culture ourselves here. Defense first. And into the game for the first time as a Wildcat is Tylen Lewis, and he creates a turnover. Hubbard, oh, the fancy spin off the glass and in for Hubbard. 12-7 Abilene Christian.
See, that's the thing about Braden Hubbard. He can go coast to coast with it. I don't care if you're 3, 2, or 1. He can go 94 feet.
Good from inside and out.
Well, he's 6'5", and what does he weigh, about 235, 240?
Straight on 3 won't go, and Sibo Newton brings it down for Abilene Christian. Here comes Alston attacking the rim and still gets to go somehow. I think everybody touched it at least once. Give them all a bucket. You like the start, though, from McMurray so far.
Yeah, I do. They're playing with a purpose. Except they're getting stretched.
As you predicted.
Yeah.
Rondino, left wing. 3 won't go. Chased down by Hubbard. And Abilene Christian coming the other way. There you see a 6-0 run over the last minute plus for ACU. Alston. Well, that's about the only way you get a charge call in college basketball now. On the ball, you push off a little bit. And maybe, as we take another look here at Hubbard, watch the English he puts on it. He's fluent in English. From Oklahoma, Tulsa specifically.
You know, I think one thing, if I'm Matt Bolton at McMurray, I don't want to speed the game up.
Yeah.
Don't fall in love with the threes.
Cross court it goes. Shot fake from LaFleur. And Hornecker, the 7-footer, rejects it. Here comes Tylen Lewis. Sibo Newton doesn't take the 3. Instead finds Hornecker and can't get it to go. Tip up twice, 3 times, no.
And Cade's going to have to make those shots.
Last 5 field goals, unsuccessful. Lewis moving his feet, staying in front of Rondino. This is Zach Rigg, number 2 in the game. Slapped away, deflected, so it was off ACU. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Nice give and go. Fight for it, desperation. Even at Abilene Christian, that prayer not answered. Dirk Johnson. But the alternative was just to hang on to it, so why not? Throw it up.
When you speed, you get out of control.
Yeah.
Now, he could have regrouped. He could have gone wide base, thrown the ball back out. That's why I'm saying don't fall in love with the shot. Fall in love with the pass and get the ball eyes. Don't hide the ball.
Tylen Lewis is promising. Freshman point guard from Franklin, Tennessee, just south of Nashville. Won a state title in Tennessee as a junior. Here's Hubbard. Doesn't take the quick 3, instead gives it up. And a bucket for Joseph Scott, who just sneaked into the game when we weren't looking.
Yeah. I've liked his workouts. I've watched him this year quite a bit.
From a basketball family, his uncle Brian Spriggs was an assistant coach for Joe Golding and Brett Tanner when ACU beat Texas in the first round of the NCAA tournament in 2021. Lewis in transition. Scott gives it back to him.
We're starting to see some separation now, Grant, because ACU's out rebounding.
It's a 13-2 run. Collision under the basket. Scott got tangled up. Jordan Willis is in the bottom of that as well. Lewis penetrated and gave Braden Hubbard a great look. And it is a foul on ACU Scott. There's Brett Tanner in his 5th season as the head coach at ACU. Set an all-time Wildcat record with 25 wins in his first year as the head coach. And of course the co-architect with Joe Golding of this amazing renaissance that we talk about a lot, from one of the worst teams in Division II to a 2-time NCAA tournament team.
I'll tell you what, people don't know the half of what Joe Golding and Brett Tanner went through having to play that brutal schedule fundraise.
And they had to have you as an assistant coach for one of those years.
That was a tough year.
No. Great for them. Turnover again. Scott in transition. Yes.
Yeah.
May have been touched by McMurray, but a finish. And it's now.
You know, now would be a good timeout if I was McMurray. Settle everything down a little bit.
It was 5-3, so this is a 15-2 run. Blocked by Venzant. Newton has it poked out of his hands. Isaac Dye gets his uniform dirty in his first minute as a Wildcat. Smith goes up, finishes with the left hand. And Matt Bolton hasn't asked for the timeout yet.
Well, here we go.
Smith showing what he can do at 6'4". He's not an outside shooting threat per se. We've seen already tonight that he can finish. Out of bounds it goes. Rich Smith says, can we look at it? No, you can't. Not that deep into the game. Big run for ACU. It's a 17-2 spurt, and the fans at Moody Coliseum are loving it. Crosstown showdown in favor of the Wildcats at the moment. Welcome back to Moody Coliseum, opening night of college basketball. First of 2 games this week for Abilene Christian, 2 for McMurray as well. And let's send it back to courtside as we welcome you back. Here's Zion Webb.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hey, you can meet the Wildcat Wranglers. It's just a group of students that are here to cheer on their hometown crowd. And they came up with this themselves. They said, I just want to get the game going. And that's what they're doing. The Wildcats are 2-0 so far with the Wildcat Wranglers. Guys, back to you.
I almost wore that tonight. Now I'm glad I didn't. I didn't want to steal their thunder.
You probably would have put a slide rule in there somewhere.
Maybe. All right, 20-7 in favor of Abilene Christian after McMurray took its only lead at 5-3. And to beat the shot clock buzzer, no, they do get it on the rim. And here comes ACU the other way. Smith again to the bucket and denied. That was Jalen Cherry on top of Rich Smith. Nice find and can't finish. Jordan Willis.
Yeah, that was a look what I found, and went up with it. Shooting too quick, Hubert McMurray.
ACU shooting 50%, 8 of 16. Joseph Scott in tight, no. And ACU missing a few around the rim here. Gervais Mayweather's a little bit out of control, perhaps.
Yeah.
As you said, they're easy to do, isn't it, when you get sped up against a bigger, stronger team?
Well, yeah, you panic a little bit sometimes. You know, you need to take advantage of the situations, but you don't know what the situations are if you're going to go too quick.
Everybody's got the plan, right?
Until you get hit in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
All right, here is a run out and a finish, and that breaks that 12-0 run, and Brett Tanner, I think, has seen enough. Rondino. Well, here is that resume we talked about. Brett Tanner, 5th season as the head coach. He was 8 years with Joe Golding as the associate head coach. And Joe will tell you everything we accomplished at Abilene Christian, Joe will say Brett was right there helping him do it.
Well, Tanner has his own, what is it, a plaque.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of assistant coaches getting plaques in the hall.
Yeah.
No, he was the architect of the defense, and they do spend an inordinate amount of time doing defense. He believes in that.
He came over when Abilene Christian went Division I in 2013, and Joe Golding called him his most important recruit.
Yes.
He had been with Danny Casper at Stephen F. Austin.
Right.
Danny went to Texas State, and Brett came here, and now Brett says, yeah, I grew up in Kansas. In fact, C24 there, Isaac Dye.
Yeah.
Brett played with his dad, Clayton, at Rose Hill High School in Kansas. But he says, I'm an ACU guy. I became one. Now his 13th season. A lob too high from Mashai Hill, little miscommunication. Some of that's going to happen on night one. These two have not played together with each other.
Well, that's the role. That's where you find out what the other one can do. You know, they've been coached to do better than that, but there wasn't a lot of pressure on that. That's just a bad pass.
McMurray's 4 of 16 shooting, backdoor cut, and Mayweather's is going to draw a foul, and will go to the line. He ought to get 3 for that one.
Well, I think you draw blood this year. Watch it now. Take the drive all the way in. If you regroup right here, there's no charge, but you can foul on the shot.
Yeah, that was a tough spill.
You know, you've done away with the block charge, Grant. I mean, you know, normally I think ACU would have stepped in there to take the charge, and Tanner built his defense about 4, 5, 6 years ago on the block charge.
Yeah.
The call changed, but Tanner, he's good enough coach. He's nimble, and he changed with the times.
I think it's one of the most remarkable stats in college basketball because, as we said, as Mayweather's makes both, 3 or 4 of those 18, 19 turnovers ACU forced every game were charges. Another miss at the rim. Zy Wright has it knocked out of his hands, and it's going to be McMurray ball. So they're not giving anything easily to ACU.
Well, ACU's open, and they're scoring in open space. If they have to execute the offense, and McMurray can stay with them 4 or 5 passes deep into that, it's a little more of a struggle. And that's the stretch ACU's wanting to see.
Listen, Tylen Lewis almost got the takeaway. 10 seconds on the shot clock, loose ball, and stepping on the baseline was Sibo Newton.
You know what? Television doesn't do justice to Tylen Lewis's thighs. His lower body is huge.
Or his hair. It's amazing.
Now here's
just stepping on the baseline.
Yeah.
Well, you got to. That's just a turnover. They never caught it. He was trying to keep it in the front court, and then he forgot to catch it at all. So Malvo and McMurray turn it over.
Well, the plus is they have to go 94 feet because no one touched it.
Each team 5 turnovers. That's got to be a win, I think, for Coach Bolton and McMurray.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As fast-paced as this has been.
Lewis to the rim, and another one that just won't go. Gets his own miss and finishes with a mulligan.
That's one strong kid. Was he not the national or the Tennessee Player of the Year? Am I right about that?
He was all-state, super stud, backdoor cut, and a 3, no, from Malvo. Sibo Newton to the basket, a lot of contact. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. With Abilene Christian, as you look at Tylen Lewis, the goal would be, as you see him in action here, would be for him to apprentice under Rich Smith, right? The
yes.
senior point guard. And by the time we get into conference play in the WAC, Brett Tanner wants to have 2 point guards that he can count on in crunch time.
It's interesting you should bring that up because they're 2 different types of players. One's a control, get you on the hip and destroy you. That's Lewis. Smith, on the other hand, will run right by you. He likes the open space.
And then throw it down in your face.
He can do that.
Newton
A lot of substitutions. I guess we're going to see a lot of that.
And ACU will apply a little bit of backcourt pressure here. Coach Bolton was saying this is unusual to have not played a game before one of these exhibitions against a Division I team. Their first game of the season that will count in the record books will be against East Texas Baptist on Friday. Foul called against ACU here.
You know, there's one thing. I question this right here. Why, if you're this size, do you go all the way? You could have stopped, reversed, threw the ball to the other side, stretched ACU's defense. Maybe you get an open look on the opposite side of the floor. But if you're 5'9", 5'10", and you try to challenge Newton or Hubbard, Mashai, it's going to be a long night if you try to do, and you're going to get hurt. But I admire the courage.
Sure. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's off of ACU. So I think there's already quite a bit for Brett Tanner to be able to show his team as they get ready for a very good Omaha Mavericks team coming in here on Thursday night, which won 22 games. Division I opponent. Some stuff that he can show his team that is less than what Thursday night will require. There's the hustle you love to see as Hubbard and Zy Wright go flying into the bench.
No, they're taking him off the dribble. Watch this right here. He crosses him over and goes in, but he still shoots the shot. I'm thinking that maybe you need to stop in there and pitch the ball back out and reverse it.
Media timeout. Abilene Christian doubling up McMurray. Opening night, college basketball season. Abilene Christian taking on Division III McMurray, doubling up their crosstown rivals from so many years ago. There's Matt Bolton, came from the University of the Ozarks. 3 seasons there, a native of Syracuse, New York, and a member of the Keokuk College golf team, he told us.
Yeah.
In addition to playing basketball.
You need to tell the story about his golfing.
Yeah.
When you have time.
It was
since you're a golfer.
Unexpected, let's put it that way.
It was a walk-on's walk-on.
Yeah. All right, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Zach Rigg can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. Mashai Hill stepped on the baseline. And again, the 50-50 balls are often going McMurray's way here in the first 12 minutes. One more look here as 2 Abilene Christian players converged. Mashai Hill stepped on the baseline. So a new 20 seconds for the Warhawks. And a poke away by Braden Hubbard. Gathers and fires it home with a one hand.
A little more discipline, a few more passes, and that doesn't happen if you're McMurray.
Well, you said he's a man amongst boys.
Oh, yeah.
And that's sometimes even against Division I opponents tonight against the D3 Warhawks, who have not been shy. They have stood in there, stood their ground, and really forced ACU to make some tough shots, and ACU's missed their share. And that was fun to watch. McMurray with Jarrell Peoples. But the other way, Mashai Hill, ouch.
Yeah, that was tough right there.
All right, so here's Braden Hubbard with the pick 2, steal and score. And then how about this? Rigg, backdoor, and Peoples.
2 nice plays. You know, Braden, if he gets in a situation where you lob the ball like they on that steal right there, you need to throw frozen ropes. Because a kid like Braden's going to come in there and they're going to knock you around just because they're bigger, and they're going to get the loose ball, and that's going to happen. They're going to get a breakaway dunk.
1 of 2 for Hill. He'll have a seat, and the 7-footer Cade Horniker will check in.
You know, one thing that Coach Kimbrell taught me at McMurray is if they pressure like ACU's pressuring you tonight, backdoor, just backdoor cut on them.
It worked on the last possession when they got the slam from Peoples.
Let's see if they do another back door here.
Rigg working hard against Joseph Vinzant. And he draws the foul.
That's good defense, though.
You do see sometimes in these D1 versus D3 or non-division, non-NCAA teams, early especially, there'll be unawareness by the officials of the size and power differential,
right.
and there'll be sometimes deferential to the team with the lower differential.
You know, we played if there's been as if anyone cared, but we played SMU.
Oh, we care, believe me. We have some pictures to show it later.
I would beg and scream for calls.
Yeah.
But, you know, Shaquille O'Neal can't help it that he's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And you're just going to get moved.
So Rigg pulls McMurray to within 11 with 6:45 to go here in the first half. Hubbard working the baseline to a cutting Rich Smith. Left hand finish by the righty.
That's beautiful. That's just good ball movement. That ball never touched the floor but maybe once. Slip screen. So now look at where they're starting their offense out here. 45 feet away from the hole.
Peoples has it deflected, and Smith can't save it in bounds.
That's just good defense, Grant. ACU, they're pushing to where the point McMurray's picking the ball up at the A right here in front of the jump circle. That's not a good sign. It opens the lanes up, but the only one that can cover the lanes are Division I kids.
All right, timeout taken. Matt Bolton loves the way Brett Tanner coaches.
Yeah.
Because it's the way he does it. It's defense first. And he's trying to instill that. He did bring 5 of his players over. Take a look at last year at McMurray. They did end the season with a couple of wins. They didn't make the postseason. It was their first year in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. They were in the same league as Coach Bolton and Ozarks.
Right.
They brought him over. And you see Jalen Cherry is among their top returners. Here's the other thing for McMurray fans to be excited about. This is a McMurray team that's going to have Jeremiah Talib, who's sitting right behind Coach Bolton. We just saw him there. He's an Abilene High kid who's going to hopefully play second semester. He's got a couple of others who are going to play come Friday night against East Texas Baptist when they open the season for real. Again, just an exhibition for McMurray. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Rigg, fall away 3. Not sure it got iron. And a good throw, but to the wrong team. Smith to a hustling Horniker who can't finish. And Malvo was out of bounds when he touched it first. So Abilene Christian right about 50% shooting, but at least a half dozen chances around the rim that McMurray has made them earn. And they haven't been able to get them to go.
Wait, if they make the breakaway dunks, they're shooting 60%. But they're not having to take this shot right here.
This is Alston, spin move.
Boy, I'm glad to see Alston back for the Wildcats this year. He is a fine, fine player.
Isaac Dye, the freshman, grew up in Texas, makes his home in Pennsylvania now. And again, Horniker unable to finish. It did get rim. And so now we have a whistle and a foul. This, I believe, is going against McMurray.
Right here, let's watch Honecker on this deal. Cade's going to have to get some rebounds. He's going to have to get putbacks. He goes up probably a little too quick. If he'll regroup at 7 foot against someone 6'4", 6'5", he'll have a lot more success.
ACU is about 50% on what are considered layups tonight.
Yeah.
And that's not a great percentage from around the rim.
But consider this. They take away the block charge. You don't really have to fear being bullied when you go in. I mean, you can go in uncontested sometimes and someone comes out of nowhere, but not this year.
Abilene Christian played Texas A&M Corpus Christi in an exhibition October the 25th, so a little over a week ago. They beat the Islanders down in Corpus by 5. It was a really good game between a couple of teams that have recently gone to the NCAA tournament. And Braden Hubbard led the way with 25 points. Into the corner. Good setup.
Yeah, that's a good
but
shot.
LaFleur couldn't get it to go. Smith to Alston. And off balance, but gets it to drop anyway. Hustling back, the Warhawks, LaFleur. He averaged 6 points and a couple of boards a game for Ozarks last year. And Coach Bolton. A whistle and a foul against ACU. And they're going to get Christian Alston. One more look here.
I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. High screen and roll. They're going to get anything out of it. Well, there's too much contact on the high screen. But if you're going to stop anybody, McMurray, Duke, you've got to blow up high screens and rolls. And you got to stop calling them screens.
And again, another opportunity created by Rondino penetrating. Got a held ball, and the possession arrow is going to favor
right there
McMurray. Now take a look again at Rondino. That's 2 or 3 times tonight he has set up his teammates for open corner threes and just can't quite get it to go. That was Jeremiah Smith.
But you can build on that, Grant. I mean, that going into their next game, which will count, that'll be huge.
Oh, you were open, and Christian Alston was trying to tip it to you for an outlet.
That was a no-look.
And a no catch.
Did you touch the ball?
No, not this time.
Okay.
I know better.
I was going to call you Teflon.
Ball knows not to find me. All right, Rondino trying to avoid a wardrobe malfunction here. And here is Jeremiah Smith. Another that Coach Bolton has brought over. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Rondino lets it rip. And a tipped ball, and Alston's not going to be able to save this one as he heads down the stairwell.
I'll say this about McMurray, they're very athletic.
And again, we're D3 against D1. You're 4.5 minutes to go in the first half, and it's a more than respectable score at the moment, 32-16. And this is a McMurray team shooting just 20% from the floor. Scoop shot by Rondino wouldn't go. Joseph Scott with the rebound. He'll get it back from Tylen Lewis. Christian Alston will try an early three. No. And Wright saves it and bounds to Scott. Zy Wright earns a little playing time with the hustle move.
Zy Wright's going to be a star, I think, this year. He can shoot the ball really well. I've watched him in a bunch of workouts. He takes physical play and scores out of it. You're going to see more of that this year.
All right, media timeout. Rondino is creating a little bit of an issue for Abilene Christian defensively. One more look here as Alston missed. Zy right where he needed to be. The ACU bench on opening night at Moody Coliseum. The Wildcats will host Omaha on Thursday night. Take a look at last year. For the second straight season, Coach, it was a late season surge by ACU that propelled them to the 4 seed in the conference tournament when they lost to Seattle. But it's a new look WAC this year. You don't have Grand Canyon, you don't have Seattle anymore.
Yeah, now this Grand Canyon moved to the
Mountain West,
West, in Seattle.
West Coast Conference.
West Coast Conference. So they're in there with Portland State and that group. Yeah, 7 teams now left in the WAC. ACU's picked 3rd. That ain't a bad deal.
No, Utah Valley, which had a phenomenal season. Dominic Nelson, Player of the Year last year.
Utah Valley had Christian Laettner.
Carter Welling.
Carter Welling, and he
now he's off to Clemson.
To Clemson, ACC.
So here's Rondino. He's come off the bench and provided some life.
You know, in the basketball world, Grant, the free throw, like what they're getting to do now, that's probably the best thing that could have happened because they're shooting so quick, so early, and from so far. They're not going to be any fouls. There's going to be a lot of long rebounds and running up and down the floor 94 feet.
Tylen Lewis working on Dirk Johnson, whistles it into the corner, touch pass to Dye under the basket for Scott, who was held before he could go up, and now they're playing Twister under the basket. One more look here.
Cross-court pass to the middle. Look inside. There you go. They reposition on the ball when they throw it cross court. The post steps down to the block. They catch you napping down there. Like Hoosiers, don't let you. What was it he said?
Sure.
Don't let them catch you with the paint drying.
Don't get caught watching the paint dry. That's right. Shooter.
I think the guy did.
Joseph Scott, ACU 7 of 9 at the free throw line. They wound up shooting 74% in conference play from the free throw line last year. Early in the season, some dodgy free throw shooting cost him a couple of games.
I'm anxious to see how Scott feels in. He's 6'9". He's a lot more athletic at 6'9" than what Cade is at 7 foot. But I don't think you'd expect Cade to be that athletic. But he'd be a nice compliment to Braden Hubbard at 6'5", 6'6".
5 newcomers who are expected to contribute for Abilene Christian, and Joseph Scott is one of them. Yanni Rivera, the junior point guard and shooting guard, not playing tonight, coach's decision. Nice cut to the bucket and a finish by Jalen Cherry. Averaged, as you noted earlier, 12 and 8 last season. Vinzant through the wickets of Scott. It's turnover number 7 for Abilene Christian. And Rondino denied by Scott. I think that'll go in most nights in the SCAC, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't run into a lot of 6'9" athletic kids like that.
Under 3 minutes to go first half. Tylen Lewis loses possession, but ACU secures it. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
You've got all newbies on the floor except for Vinzant, and he didn't play last year.
Fall away from Scott. That'll always work when in doubt.
Very good athletic play. I hope to see more of that of the Wildcats this year when they get into the conference. Fade away from a 6'9".
Leading scorer for either team. 10 points for Joseph Scott off the bench. And into the paint, but unable to finish, is Cherry. And here comes Tylen Lewis the other way. Said his Nashville folks likely won't get to a lot of games here. Dye, catch and shoot for 3, a little strong. Gets his own rebound. And back out to Lewis. Dye down to Zyrite, yes. And now ACU flexing its muscle a little bit.
I think that's what everybody wants to say. Oh, you mentioned the Zyrite, he inside-outside guy like that.
So ACU has taken its largest lead of the night. But just like that, Jarrell Peoples, who had the thunderous dunk earlier, buries the corner 3. Second 3 of the night for the Warhawks. 90 seconds to go first half. This was not a good 3-point shooting team last year, ACU. One of the teams with the fewest amount of makes per game. And tonight they're 2 of 9 from long range.
I think that'll get better though, Grant. They settle down a little bit. Like I was pointing out a while ago, that's 5 new guys on the floor right now for ACU.
And they did get better in conference play last year. Offensive rebound for Cherry. And can't get the putback on Lewis, who really stood his ground. And now here come the Wildcats with under a minute to go. Vinzant, hard to the bucket. No, but he's going to get some free throws for his effort. So Vinzant from Midland. And as we take a look at the replay here, went to Liberty, solid contributor, kind of a glue guy. And early last year, what we heard from Brett Tanner is scrimmages, exhibitions, early in the season, the team leader in plus minus. In other words, how does the team do when you're on the floor? And he said, for example, against Corpus Christi a week and a half ago, had 1 point in the game. And he led the team in plus minus. So what does that tell you?
Well, that he's a very busy player. He's very involved, and everybody knows where he is. But the thing is, he knows where everybody else is.
And so 1 of 2 at the line. And Tanner talked about his absence. He's a mature guy. He's married, has a kid, a 1.5-year-old. And he just said he's just we missed his maturity and his leadership, even though he was a first-year player last year.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Go ahead. They did miss him last year. He's an ensign.
So, supreme effort by McMurray, unable to get the bucket. And so ACU can take the last shot here. Smith with the ball in his hands. Hubbard wide open for three. And that's how the first half will end. A heave the other way. And after 20 minutes, Matt Bolton's Warhawks, feisty. They had the claws out, denying ACU, but the Wildcats, just a little too much. 41-22, here's Zion Webb.
It's no secret that you teach defensive intensity. What did you see from your defense?
Well, I didn't really like it that much, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, I think we could have forced more turnovers. We could have got more stops. We're pretty loose with it right now, taking things for granted instead of just valuing the ball, grabbing it with two hands, getting in passing lanes. We're going to talk about that at half, and it's got to be better.
What's the message to the team in the second half?
That, exactly. Our defensive intensity's got to pick up. You know, if we want to do what we want to do this year, then we've got to be elite defensively.
All right, thank you, Coach. Thank you. Guys, back to you.
Well, you heard it. I've heard that before from Brett Tanner. If we want to be who we want to be, the defensive intensity's got to be there.
Yes, sir.
The offense was not bad in the first half, 41 points for Abilene Christian. They lead McMurray, 41-22. Halftime in Abilene. Back in a moment on ESPN+. Gig. So was I.
We're 41-22 Abilene Christian leading over McMurray. The biggest thing, takeaway so far through this first half, those points off turnovers. They're flipping that defense and creating offense. What have you seen from that aspect of the game?
Well, both teams have 7 turnovers through this point, but ACU has 14 points off turnovers as opposed to the 4 from McMurray. They're getting out and running and leaking out after those turnovers and making quick buckets to get early points.
This 41-22 stat line right now has showed Abilene Christian in the lead, but McMurray is staying with them. They're showing their speed right now.
Absolutely. They're running on defense after they're getting those rebounds. They're going, they're running out, they're getting dunks, they're getting layups, they're getting easy points to score against a team that some might say is better than them.
Let's take a look at the first half stats for both of these teams. Obviously, it's been a super impactful moment for ACU on the offensive side with Joseph Scott leading the way with 10 points.
Yeah, he's been great on offense. 4 for 5 from the field, made his free throws, 7 rebounds, a double-double, has his name written all over it.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they come out here in the second half, both teams looking at what they're trying to do. It's going to be also a really impactful moment of whether or not the momentum will shift as we take a look at the highlights from this first half. It's been a super fun, super engaging first half, and I think there's going to be plenty of that here in the second as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, these teams are both playing fast. 3-pointers raining on both ends. Even if they're shooting a little inefficiently from behind the arc, there's some great dunks like this one right here, jamming it down. These teams, they play fast, they play quick, they're getting to the hole, and they're making high percentage shots, which leads to a big lead for ACU.
First game of the season for both of these opponents, but ACU and Moody Coliseum for the first time for this 2025-2026 campaign, and you can feel the energy on a few of these big moments, these very, very strong shots. My name is Josiah Winnell. This is Kason Higgins. When we come back, we'll throw it back inside Moody for the rest of this halftime coverage.
Welcome back to Abilene, Texas, opening night of the college basketball season, and Abilene Christian taking on their crosstown opponent from Division III McMurray. Grant Boone and Coach Ron Holmes here courtside. So first 20 minutes of the season, and both teams trying to figure out who they are. And what do you think each coach liked from the first half, and what would each want to work on?
Well, I think Coach Tanner liked his bigs. There's some things they can improve on, and I know that he knows that, but he ran them in and out quite a bit, so there's not a lot of chemistry going on right now. So we're just seeing a raw rendition of what they can do. Now, if I'm McMurray and I'm Coach Bolton, I'm pretty pleased. You know, I could take away 1 or 2 things that they're doing, like shooting too quick. But that may be their only chance that they were going to try to win this game. But it's an exhibition. no stats for McMurray, but stats for ACU.
Yeah.
I think ACU will come out and manhandle the second half.
41-22, the halftime score. This is Abilene Christian's 5th season in the WAC, and that's about to change. We'll talk about that as the second half goes along. But take a look at the preseason poll. As Coach Holmes mentioned earlier, 7 teams left in the WAC. California Baptist picked to win the league with Dominic Daniels Jr., picked as the preseason player of the year. Utah Valley has continued to play at a high level the last couple of years. And there's ASU picked 3rd. We mentioned that Seattle is off to the West Coast Conference, and Grand Canyon in the Mountain West. Let's take a look at the preseason team in the WAC. There's Daniels. Just absolutely electric.
Yeah.
And Leonhardt for Utah Valley. And Braden Hubbard, preseason all-conference selection for Abilene Christian. All right, ready for the second half here shortly as ACU gets its season officially underway. And we'll be back with the second half in a moment on ESPN+. Here we go. The second half is underway. Abilene Christian with the first crack at it here in the second half. Braden Hubbard gets the start, loses it, gets it back. And he'll try to pretend like that was a play. Uh-oh. That's against the rules no matter what division the opponent's from.
That's a good call. That's trying to get a little ball movement going on, reverse the ball like that. I was talking to you during the timeout. If you're Cade Honecker, or you're Smith, whomever, you're used to banging against another body that's equal to your size. And then you come out here and all of a sudden a 6'5" guard and a 7-footer, it throws you off a little bit.
Corner 3 won't go. Newton secures the long rebound. Hubbard will try a corner 3. There you go. Shot 42% from long range last year.
And it's a set shot every time for Braden. He doesn't shoot jump shots.
Shot 50% in conference play as his performance, as you noted, just kept elevating as the season went along. Joseph Scott, I thought Scott may have knocked it out of bounds for Abilene Christian. The call goes the Wildcats' way. I mean, we know what Hubbard can do. He's built like a tight end. And if he's going to start doing this as he did last year, then that makes him an even tougher guard.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The thing to do is to get up under his chin and make him put the ball on the floor, because he's not the greatest ball handler. If you're going to let him shoot set shot threes, you're in trouble.
Vinzant to the bucket off the feed from Scott. And he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Scott was trying to urge in that way. Watch this, like go, 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 go. That's what I was saying, go.
Yeah. That's the chemistry we're talking about.
There you go. And again, you've got 5 guys trying to act as one.
Yeah.
And they haven't, you can practice all you want, but game situations, you tell me, it's night and day, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. If someone in a different colored jersey when they turn the lights on, makes it a whole lot different. Again, Mike Tyson, everyone has a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
Vinzant converts both. And ACU is 11 of 14 at the free throw line. Again, the lights really come on Thursday night when Omaha arrives. ACU beat them last December up at their place. Mavericks will be looking for payback. 5 on the shot clock. Hubbard defending against Cherry, and they get the bucket. Extra effort. And Kamga.
They took more time off the shot clock with that possession. I think they do that 60-70% of the time. They're going to be okay.
You were looking at that as a possible idea before the game started, and we haven't seen it much as Wildcats can't get that possession in their favor, and a little fall away from Malvo. So we said enjoy the spotlight Well, Hubbard's been in it from his JUCO days when he led the nation in scoring on the JUCO level. And last year when he was a leading scorer for the Wildcats. You see, we said enjoy the spotlight, though, from McMurray, and they seem to tonight. They haven't played scared.
Oh, no.
By any stretch.
No. They absolutely have not. But Hubbard ran the floor like a tight end.
Yeah. And again, just a feathery touch from the free throw line. 87% last season in conference play. And he and Joseph Scott each with 10 tonight to lead the Wildcats. Make it 11 for Hubbard.
Yeoman's work. That's a Yeoman's 11 points. Nothing flashy.
And that's Abilene Christian under Brett Tanner, and before him, Joe Golding, when Brett and Joe were building this team. Hubbard with a steal, a bounce to Smith, and he'll have to earn it at the free throw line.
There aren't a lot of people as quick as Smith. I mean, he's fast, too. Let's watch him run the floor. And watch him 2 or 3 times with the ball, regroup, and then go up with it. That's just great body control.
So Hubbard, built like the tight end, looked more like free safety there, picking off the pass and starting to break the other way. Smith made some clutch free throws in the exhibition win. I realized it was an exhibition against Corpus, but both teams were playing their starters. Both teams were playing to win. They had the officials there. It was a full-blown game, and some big free throws made by a guy who's not an elite free throw shooter, and that helped ACU beat the Islanders a week and a half ago. 14 of 18 at the free throw line tonight for the Wildcats. This is Cherry. And a takeaway. Ahead to Sebo. Knocked away. Good defense by LaFleur. And Malvo the other way is going to turn it into a bucket.
It's a good transition right there for the Warhawks. I want to say Indians.
Well, that's what they were when you played for them.
Yeah.
Sebo Newton with some fancy dribbling, sets up Hubbard for 3. Can't get it to go, but Scott with a loose ball. And tough inside, finishes.
That's what you expect to see at WAC playing SCAC. The WAC SCAC.
It is. Malvo, quick 3, yes! Jordan Malvo's come alive. He's the first Warhawk into double digits in points.
He's fallen in love with that shot. He'll come down and do it again.
Straight out of Compton. Malvo from Southern California. And he creates a turnover right in front of Brett Tanner, whose smile has turned into a scowl. It is November, so we'll see more scowl than smile.
Watch him come down here now. He's just inside the half court. That's a horse shot. You did that when you were sub-T, did you?
Sub-T wouldn't let me in. I was Galaxy. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. It was mutual. All right, so the coaching brain trust from McMurray. Liking what they're seeing. Team fighting hard against the D1 Wildcats. 51-31 in favor of Abilene Christian over McMurray. This is the, goodness, we're coming up on 92nd. This is the 92nd meeting between these two institutions going back to 1930. Back in the 40s and 50s, it was a heated rivalry. Both teams were playing on the same level, small college division. And there was a 5 overtime game back in 1957-58. ECU got the better of the Warhawks. And a bump by Tylen Lewis as Rondino, like he did in the first half, got some penetration.
You know, Lewis is going to, if Lewis is going to play in the WAC, and he's going to be just fine, but he's got to make them reverse dribble. You just can't go straight line dribble. and let him take you off the dribble. And he messed up on the switch right there.
Malvo catch and shoot three. He's feeling it.
Yeah.
13 for Malvo. 10 of his 13 have come here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. It's a 17-point lead for Abilene Christian.
Which is a moral victory right now for the Warhawks.
Mashai Hill, handoff to Sebo Newton. Braden Hubbard kicks to Lewis, and this is Sebo under the basket to Hubbard. A bullet with the left hand.
Yeah, that's a frozen rope.
He found the tight end open at the goal line.
With a small window.
Peoples for three. By the way, McMurray is shooting 5 of 8 from the floor in the second half. Oh, and Alston was denied by the rim, and Lewis is there for his second bucket of the night. Rondino to the basket again. Into the hands of Rigg. Rondino for three, look out.
Wow.
And we've got a timeout. Red Tanner not happy.
Sports Center, what would they say in Fuego? Pulls it. I think they're shooting too quick, but this is a shot right here.
Rondino.
55-37 your score here in Moody Coliseum. The Wildcats are up, but hey, some folks may not know this, but back in the day, Coach Ron was a force to be reckoned with. I talked in the open about how it's been 50 years since McMurray beat the Wildcats. You can see here in the red, Coach Ron was a part of that team, and not to mention, later coached the Warhawks for 20 years from 1990 to 2010. You're in the Hall of Honor for McMurray, Coach. I know them competitive instincts never fade, but you're doing a good job of staying right in the middle tonight, man. I must admit, brother.
Changed a bit. Look at him.
Look at this.
Still in his playing shape. Coach Bolton may need like 5 or 10 minutes from you tonight. You got any scholarship left?
No,
No eligibility?
I'm out of gas.
We can find something. Hey, but that was Rick Penny went for 36 that night as McMurray knocked off Abilene Christian down in Brownwood. You were on the team that year. The last time that McMurray had beaten Abilene Christian. It was in a Howard Payne tournament in January.
Coach Tate was a coach.
Willard Tate was the head coach at Abilene Christian.
Had a real fine team. Paul Palmer.
Paul Palmer's here tonight. He scored a dozen that night. Andrew Prince went for 27 for Abilene Christian that night.
Andrew Prince was a force, wasn't he?
Rick Penny and Keith Sullivan and company for McMurray. Too much Indians that night.
Yeah. Well, those
Not
guys
enough
could
Chiefs
play.
for ACU that night.
They could play.
For Coach Herschel Kimbrell, one of the all-time greats, your mentor, and of course you followed up after him and had 20 great years, as Zion mentioned, at McMurray. And one for Christian Alston.
Yeah, that's good to see. He's learning how to use his pivot foot. He's going to have a really good sophomore year. We already know that he can score and he's athletic without a ball in his hands, but to get the ball in the paint and to score shows he's been in the weight room.
All right, so Alston pushes the lead to 21, and some substitutions.
You know that picture they showed?
Yeah.
That was the 4 guys that didn't have the regular jerseys.
Yeah.
That was the first 4 to go into the game.
There you go.
Everyone else was trying. We were looking for a 5th. Where you find 4 Indians, you'll find a 5th.
There you go. Well, here is Dirk Johnson of the now Warhawks, and he'll get to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Yeah, he was looking for physical contact. He got it from the shot. You know, that's the block charge deal again is if you'll stand there with your hands straight up and don't tip your hands, you'll get the call. Mashai needs to do that, I think, and move his feet, move with him.
Yeah, we saw him bring the hand down. That's an easy call for
automatic.
the officials, isn't it?
That's automatic.
They're 7 of 9 at the line tonight, the Warhawks.
But Dirk Johnson was, I mean, he was looking for trouble.
Yeah. One-handed rebound from Joseph Vinzant. 6 minutes gone by here in the second half. And a bump by Johnson.
It's a good call. Anticipate the high screen. Well, we talked about this. As long as you and I have been together, you really can't have screens at this level. You have to have explosions. You have to have crashes. Collisions, I think, probably the word you and I have used down through the years.
How impressed are you that McMurray, as we sit here now, missed 1-and-1 chance from Alston? You're, what, 26 minutes into the game? They have 9 turnovers against the team that led the nation in Division I last year in turnovers forced. Only 9.
10 now. Is that a turnover?
Stays on this end.
I'm impressed. I really am. They've generated a lot of possessions, and they've handled it, but they've ended the possessions with a 30-foot jump shot. So you're not going to get a lot of turnovers when you run the floor like that and shoot early. But that's the thing, Grant. I want to see him work the ball more, 4 or 5 passes. Because Friday night, whoever it is that they play
East
now,
Texas Baptist.
yeah, when they go to ETBU, they're going to want 4 or 5 passes.
And again, that's their first game that counts this season. Murray. Malvo, he's had the hot hand of the second half. He's going to try to keep it. Is it a double dribble?
Yeah.
He thought he got the ball knocked out of his hands. I might agree with him, but Hunter Bashirs did not. He's the only one. Here's another look at it.
So let me ask you this question. Why would you go in there to shoot that shot?
Well, I think you're down 20 and you're Jordan Malvo and you've scored 10 in the second half and you're thinking, I'm on ESPN Plus.
I know you'd have an
Hi,
answer.
Mom. They get ESPN Plus in Compton, California. A lob to Mashai Hill and a nice finish from an awkward angle.
That was a good catch and finish.
Kind of a man-child. Got here, needed to work on his body, did a couple of years ago, and now it's about becoming a little more basketball savvy. And that's going to be a reach-in on Rich Smith. Dirk Johnson thought it was close to a carry here.
Yeah.
Another look here at Mashai Hill working
He's in
with
position. Look at him holding everything off. Nice pass, finish. Never brings the ball down, Grant.
Nobody in black can deny Mashai Hill tonight.
But if you can catch and keep the ball above your shoulders, you're going to score and get a free throw.
Bad things happen when you bring it down to waist level.
Well, you get little people like me get to play with you.
Stop it. Pride of Van Horn. Past the statue on the way to New Mexico State last year. By the way, speaking of schedules, Abilene Christian has a stout one this year, and coming to Moody Coliseum, New Mexico State on December the 6th.
Jason Hooten.
Reunion with Jason Hooten,
Formerly
longtime head coach at Sam Houston State. And Coach, how about the road trip that the Wildcats will have later this year? They'll play at BYU and at Arizona. What did Arizona do tonight? They beat the defending national champion Florida Gators.
You know, Arizona's, are they in the top 10?
Well, you mentioned the East Texas Baptist game. They're at Howard Payne. And on that D3 level, members now of the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. And there's another crosstown showdown with Hardin Simmons from just down Ambler Avenue.
That'll be intense.
And Riggs saves it in bounds, but the Wildcats with the takeaway. Isaac Dye under the basket for Mashai Hill.
That's what you need to see if you're Brett Tanner. And you need to do it in a game like this.
Here's a corner three. Jordan Willis. That is the 6th three of the night for McMurray and the 4th of the second half. And Mashai Hill shuffled his feet in the estimation of Chris Hudson. So they've had this tonight. They've had some open corner threes. They've just not been able to get them to go, but they did here. And again, it was Rondino who set it up.
But you know, I contend a Division I athlete closing out on that shot's a lot different than an ETBU kid closing out on that shot. That shot's going to fall probably Friday night more than it has tonight.
Yeah. Again, Rondino driving and finishing. He has been impressive tonight. Distributing. And in that case, scoring.
There you go. You want to reverse
Die,
the
catch,
ball.
and shoot three. Again, a little too strong. 0 for 3 tonight from the floor, the freshman.
Die will be the last one to leave the gym tonight.
Rondino, he was a little too open. And ahead to Rich Smith, 2-on-1. Hubbard. No problem.
Yeah. This is the time of the game I'd slow down a little bit, but I wouldn't shoot that shot.
Cherry the offensive rebound. As you might guess, it's been a decisive advantage in the rebound department, 38-25 in favor of ACU. But again, Rondino sets his teammate up. Rigg can't finish. Poked away by Peoples, who saves it in bounds to Rigg. Hustle play. Here come the Warhawks for 3. And a whistle and a foul on ACU, I think. 10:54 to play. Warhawks getting their money's worth tonight. 64-43 in favor of ACU. Back here in Abilene, Texas. First night of college basketball here on ESPN Plus. Abilene Christian from the WAC, McMurray from Division III Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. Next 5 games for Abilene Christian. They've got a non-NCAA team a week from tomorrow, Southwestern Adventist, but Omaha from the Summit Conference made the NCAA tournament last year. The Cats' old friends from Nacogdoches, Stephen F. Austin, next Friday night at Texas State on November the 18th, and then UTSA. And as we mentioned, games against BYU and Arizona coming up in December, as well as a home game against New Mexico State. And then conference play gets going in the WAC early January. 10:54 to go here. It's a game that most people understand as we try to get the shot clock fixed. Most people know how these games go. The bigger, stronger team, the Division I team, beats the Division III team usually. But McMurray isn't playing with the effort of a team that's expecting to lose tonight. We got Hubbard out here at the top for the Wildcats. He'll go cross court to Die. Zai right. Left hand denied, but a foul. And free throws coming for Zai. Zatirius.
You mentioned that McMurray's playing with actually no fear, but they're loose because they really have nothing to lose, everything to gain with this. If this were later in the season, I'd say it's their Super Bowl. But you don't get to play a lot of D1s.
There's Zai, who, as we mentioned earlier, 5th team in 5 years. Coach Tanner said he's a ball player. He's JUCO a couple of years, played Division II ball a couple of years, and played his high school ball right near Augusta, Georgia. And a reminder, next April, right here on ESPN Plus, the 90th Masters.
You'll be there.
Be there. Flip on ESPN Plus, there's a chance you'll see me. Which is also the way to avoid me if you don't want to see me. Here is Malvo. couple of extra steps. Sebo Newton defending.
I rest my case. You're trying to take somebody 6'5" off the dribble in the paint.
Jordan Kamga fouled out, so he's done for the night. It's about a 10-minute drive back to campus at McMurray, depending on traffic, which at 10 o'clock on a Monday night doesn't exist. Zy Wright catch and shoot three. And that's just the fourth made triple tonight for Abilene Christian.
Well, this is a pretty strong five on the floor right now for the Wildcats. You got some size and a lot of athleticism.
Peoples goes hard to the basket and out of bounds off of ACU.
Good block, clean block.
One more look here. Horniker swatted it away.
Yeah. I think a lot of people anticipate a foul or something like that, but the ball, they're watching the flight of the ball.
Yeah.
Watching it leave your hand.
And
I thought that was backcourt.
Malvo again, and the deflection that time right into the hands of Peoples. And he's got 7.
Yeah, Jarrell Peoples and Cherry. It's a nice combination for the Warhawks.
Alston ahead of steam and a finish. 9 points for Alston, the sophomore. ACU finished the season strong last year, including a nice denial by Sebo Newton. Got the overtime win against Grand Canyon, which went on to the NCAA tournament. Alston denied, and here come the Warhawks and Peoples. Steps through, and whoa, look out. Peoples and Smith. Did not get the memo that this is a 25-point game.
Yeah.
13 turnovers for McMurray, but a dozen for Abilene Christian, so just +1 for ACU.
50 years ago, that would have been a fight.
You speak from experience?
Yeah. Yeah. When we had a little fight in us when I wasn't 70, you know.
Peoples has 8. And you think about this group for Matt Bolton that he's trying to fashion into the program he wants, the one that he said he had begun to build at Ozarks last year. They won 14 games, lost 11. And he said he was reminded, he's been reminded now that, of the need to be patient. He said, I had spent 3 years getting where we wanted to be at Ozarks, and now, you know, we're starting over effectively.
Yeah. He likes the facilities. He likes his chances in a town that's bigger than Mayberry. You know, they're in Clarksville.
Sure. But he's got a coach on Ron Holmes' court, and that's always intimidating for a McMurray coach.
Yeah.
Kimbrell Arena and Holmes' court.
Yeah.
Cade Horniker for 3. Nope. Zy Wright got his hand on it, thought that he had slapped it off of Cherry, but 70-47. I got a challenge here.
You know, that's one of the new rules this
Yeah.
year. Well, I mean, not the review, but you can challenge. I think inside the last 2 minutes, anyone.
Correct. Well, the officials will look at it inside 2 minutes,
right.
right?
Right.
But, we'll see. Here comes the. Now the pressure shifts to our crew with ACUTV. Did it catch a lock of hair? It's very close. The ruling on the court is, well, the ruling was McMurray ball. We'll see if they overturn it. Well, that is the great Jaron Lewis, power forward for ACU's teams that flipped things around and went to the NCAA tournament. Another look here, and after review, the coach's challenge was successful. The call was overturned, and Abilene Christian will retain possession and not be charged a timeout. So Brett Tanner, 1 for 1 in his career in coach's challenges.
Good way to start the year.
How about the way they've started the year on the court? They lead 70-47. It was always, you would have expected, going to be a victory. The question is, by how much and how has it happened?
Well, they've been stretched a little bit in some instances, but they'll be pushed pretty good against Omaha.
Malvo rejected by Smith, fighting for the ball. Zy Wright from his fanny. Like a fox in the hen house, snatched it away. And it gives the Wildcats free throws here. One more look here. Malvo is intent on getting to the rim. And Wright.
A lot of fight.
Horniker didn't shoot often at the free throw line last year. 2 of 9 in conference play. His minutes picked up as the year went on.
I'm really in hopes as the season progresses with ACU that Cade will become more of an offensive threat. He's more of a distributor. You put him at the high point, at the high post, on the elbows, and his IQ is off the chart, and he knows how to pass the ball. I just want to see him score more.
Like Joseph Vinzant, he's a Texas guy who went off to college and now has come back to the Lone Star State from Amarillo. Went to Southern Illinois, coaching change, and got here last year, so he's in his second season with the Wildcats. Vinzant was at Liberty before coming here last year. Smith forces another turnover. Everybody getting the uniform dirty. Hubbard running in transition. Has the scoop shot denied. And from the corner, Rondino slapped by Smith, and that'll put Rondino with the line for 2 shots with 7:05 to go.
Well, they are scooting up and down the floor. Both teams are responding. They're trying to throw haymakers. And these, rabbit punches win fights too.
Well, McMurray, statistically, if you just look at D1 versus D3, barely had a puncher's chance coming into this game. It's an opportunity for Matt Bolton to get some playing time for his new team. And as we mentioned earlier, he's got a couple of key players who aren't playing tonight who will be there either later this week or in the second half of the season, including an Abilene high product, Jeremiah Talib, who's here tonight in his hometown watching. Here's Wright for 3. That's his second of the game. And Zy Wright's got 11.
Well, ACU, on the other hand, they'll have
Yanni Rivera, backup point guard, not in action tonight. Will be against Omaha on Thursday night. Rondino for 3. And that's the 5th of the half for McMurray. ACU's 5 of 17 for the game. McMurray's 5 of 12 in the second half. Tylen Lewis can't get that to drop. It was blocked, and here's Alston, another Tennessean. He was rejected.
They're undersized. All the action's taking place on the drive under the basket. 6'4", 6'5" can do that. Now, if you've got somebody 7 foot that controls the lane, you're not going to see that as often. But they're letting them play.
I would agree. First action collegiately for Tylen Lewis. Alston doesn't take the three. He'll give it up for Hubbard, who's got 15 tonight. Jersey number. And a scrum at the top of the key. Possession arrow favors ACU. So tonight for Abilene Christian, Sibo Newton, Zy Wright, and Joseph Scott are seeing their first action as Wildcats. Isaac Dye and Tylen Lewis, their first action as college players. 5 new ACU players who are going to be asked to help lift this Wildcat team in the WAC. 10 on the shot clock. Joseph Scott under the basket for Wright. Finishes with the left hand.
That extra pass catches somebody at, early in the game, they were catching them out of position.
Little zone look here for ACU. And Rigg can't get it to go. Cross court it goes from Lewis to Alston. Approaching the 5-minute mark. 15 points for Rondino of McMurray, 15 for Braden Hubbard for ACU. No look into the corner. From Lewis to Wright. Rebound Hubbard, no. Scott, the offensive rebound, loses it out of bounds off of his leg. And it'll be McMurray ball.
Still a good possession.
The ovation for Isaiah Carrillo's checking in, and that's the shot again from Hubbard. And Scott can't believe it. There's Carrillo, went to Abilene Wiley on the south side of town. He'll try to get that uniform dirty in the next 5 minutes. McMurray has missed 9 of its last 11. Rigg makes it 10 of 12.
That's just a tough shot. Trying to take someone off the dribble, get them on your hip like that, and then take them down to the block. As physical as the game is. You'd rather look for clean shots. I think Coach Bolton's got everyone's attention sitting on that bench.
Alston, great move, but it's Scott who cleans up. It's a nearly 30-point lead for ACU. It doesn't feel quite that big, at least to me, as Johnson gets flattened and Braden Hubbard pick up the personal.
Well, I feel the same way. I agree.
We haven't. They're early. Remember, it went from 5-3 to 20-5 or so, or 20-7. There was that early spurt, but we haven't seen the 15-0 runs that you sometimes see in games like this.
I was going to say, we haven't seen a lot of scoring in bunches. They rattle off 4 or 5 unanswered, and someone calls a timeout to settle everything down. That just hadn't happened.
1-and-1 chance for Johnson, no. But there again, you see Cherry getting his hand on the ball and making ACU work hard. Alston was landed on, and Johnson knew it.
Wow.
And you said if you're Brett Tanner, you want to be stretched in a game like this. You're not looking to necessarily win by 100. That doesn't really do you much good, does it?
No, it doesn't do anyone any good, but I don't know that Brett's looking for offense. I mean, he's looking, you've alluded to it 100 times. It's defense here at ACU.
Wildcats shooting 75% of the free throw line. Alston errant with that first one. How about Joe Scott tonight? Is he having himself a nice Wildcat debut?
Yes.
14 points, 15 rebounds for Joseph Scott.
And he's got nice size. And Wildcats going to need that. I keep saying that. They're going to need a lot of things, but we're 30 games away from being in Las Vegas.
That's Scott leaping for the rebound. 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Warhawks. And we've got the final media timeout coming to the next whistle. Carrillo defending against Rondino. And Carrillo got his hand on it, slapped it out of bounds. And there is our media timeout.
Yeah.
Final one of the night. Abilene Christian, a few minutes away from a season-opening victory in this 5th season in the WAC. Final 3:46 from Moody Coliseum tonight. And let's take a look at what's happening around the WAC. Tarleton State falling to SMU tonight. 96-76 the final score. UT Arlington got a big win over a non-Division I. UNT Dallas. Cal Baptist, the preseason favorite to win the WAC, up early on South Carolina State, or South Carolina Upstate. And Utah Tech with an overtime victory at South Dakota.
Oh, good win.
So just 6 opponents this year in conference play in the WAC, with those 2, Grand Canyon and Seattle, having departed. Here's a steal by Christian Alston. Rising up and throwing it down. That's Abilene's Christian right there.
Yeah. He said enough of this.
Wildcat women's team had a rather decisive victory earlier over Howard Payne, another Division III opponent. She'll be good enough as a reason for optimism for her side in the WAC this year. Right wing 3 won't go for Jeremiah Smith. Matt Bolton's got him some Abilene guys.
Yeah.
And there is a triple from Mario LaFleur, whom he brought with him from University of the Ozarks.
He's probably one player away from really just dominating his league.
How about Tylen Lewis getting in the act?
Substitution.
Well, you mentioned it. He's got hops.
Oh, does he ever?
And
What's this?
Take another look here. He just kept going up.
Yeah. He got to regroup and go up and dunk that thing.
Yeah. Stopped on the 2nd floor and said, I'm still going up, thanks. Nylons, 3rd floor, flush. No good from LaFleur. Carrillo in transition.
Yeah, I'm saying that McMurray needs, they need one big guy, 2 big guys to complement their perimeter.
And they'll have a couple of those coming back here in the coming days and months. Joseph Scott, just relentless.
We need that.
16 points, 15 rebounds.
And I say we, and I'm speaking on behalf of Brett Tanner, they really need to see that athleticism around the basket.
They're both wees for you tonight. Abilene Christian and McMurray.
I can't lose. My GPA was better at ACU than it was at McMurray.
Well, it's all about grace. Here's Dye trying to get in the act. There you go. Isaac Dye with his first bucket as a Wildcat. He says, okay,
big plans
now you can exhale.
Yeah, big plans for this guy. Yeah, it's a good shot.
Some people think of the lunch pail metaphor as maybe being disparaging. I think Isaac embraces it. That's who he is. It's
compliment.
He's a really good athlete with an exceptional work ethic, and that'll get you minutes with Brett Tanner and most coaches.
Yes. He's got a nice body to be what is he, a freshman?
Yeah, 6'2", 200.
Well, muscle packs tight. I can look at you and tell that.
Yeah. mouth is the strongest muscle. Here from the corner, no. And Lewis ahead to Die. Can he elevate? So the freshmen connect. And we're inside the final minute.
Big decision right now. Pizza or chicken?
ACU still trying to deny. They've got Zy Wright, one of their starters. Brett Tanner said it's going to be game to game in terms of who starts.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want my players getting too hung up on who starts, because even if you don't, you may still see significant minutes. But he said, we don't have the kind of team, as Dirk Johnson is going to commit an offensive foul on Wright. He said, I want my team knowing that if they work hard in practice, if they play the right way in games, they'll get a chance to start the next game.
Well, as a coach, you don't want to be second-guessed. It's like raising your kids. You don't want your kids to know what or anticipate what you're going to do. It sometimes blows up.
Carrillo is going to come into the backcourt to take the inbound. They don't have to take another shot. Don't expect they will. Brett Tanner says, nope, just hold it. First night for Abilene Christian is going to be a successful one, and a lot to be excited about for McMurray and Matt Bolton as he starts his tenure across town as well. A rivalry that began 95 years ago, renewed tonight, and Abilene Christian takes it 92-55.
Good game.
Double-double in his first game for Joseph Scott. 16 points, 17 rebounds, and Brett Tanner wins the season opener. It's going to get tougher starting on Thursday when one of last year's NCAA tournament teams comes to town, Omaha. But tonight, a chance to celebrate, see some film, and get ready for Thursday night. Matt Bolton still 0-0 officially as the head coach at McMurray. He gets his first official game on Friday night against East Texas Baptist.
Well, he's got a chance. He's got that dressing room where he wants it, it looks like.
Look at Zion Webb with the magnetic personality. Everyone's gathering around Zion. He's waiting for Coach Tanner or a player. They've missed college basketball. It's back.
Yeah.
Finally.
The 7-foot selfie.
All right, in that scrum is Zion somewhere. I think he's trying to get Braden Hubbard, and it looks like he's done it thanks to Evan Nimick, the sports information director. Zion, take it away if you're ready.
Thanks, man. 15 for number 15. You did that on purpose tonight, man?
No, I didn't do it on purpose, man. I just came out playing hard with my teammates. They found me. We was working hard, being tough, and we came out with the dub. That's really all that matters, playing hard.
Talk about your teammates. It seems like the energy was electric in here. How did you feed off of them?
Man, just their energy, man. Their energy they had all game. When I'm on the bench, I got them turned up. When they on the bench, they got me turned up. We just reciprocating energy and having a good time.
Talk about these fans. It seems like you had a special moment with them here recently. How big have they been?
Man, big time, big time. We love them. Student section, anybody who pop out during the games, man, we gonna try to connect with them as much as possible because we love when they come out to the games to support us, and we're going to support them in any way possible.
And then last thing, want to know just how important is it to set a good foundation this season?
Man, extremely important. Last year we finished decent, not too good, but we finished decent, but we just want to make sure to keep that winning energy throughout the team and keep being tough.
All right, thank you, Braden.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, guys, you can take it over at the desk.
Josiah Winnell, Kaysen Higgins post-game here after a 92-55 win for Abilene Christian in the opener over McMurray. What did we see right out of the gate here in the season opener for both of these teams?
Well, in the second half, Abilene Christian improved quite a few things. Their three-point shooting, they got up to 30%, which isn't where they would like to be, but a lot better than the 19% that they were shooting in the first half. And then the second half, they were moving the ball really well. They were passing through the pick-and-roll offense, using their centers, their power forwards, getting the ball into the paint, getting easy, high-percentage shots.
Yeah, what was the biggest biggest difference you saw from that first half to that second half in terms of adjustments for Abilene Christian?
Well, I think there was quite a bit of a lack of energy from McMurray. They came out a little bit flat. I think it was a little deflating to play as hard as they did and be down by 20-plus points going into halftime. Coming back, ACU just had more energy, more the want to win, and it really showed.
Let's look at the stats for this evening's matchup. 92-55 was our final score, but there's some obvious takeaways right here. And Joseph Scott obviously putting up some great points, but those rebounds, 17 for him, a double-double.
Absolutely. I said at the halftime when he had 7 rebounds, he improved that mightily, getting 10 rebounds just here in the second half, 16 points for him on efficient shooting. And then Braden Hubbard on the other side for the Wildcats, 15 points, the player of the game, shot well from the field, good rebounds, good assists, overall great game from those two gentlemen.
But on the McMurray side, there's obviously things to be excited about. They competed in really, really great ways with a talented ACU team.
Absolutely. They played a very close second half, and they scored 11 more points than they did in the first half. In the second half, they played well. They shot decently, high percentage from the field, shot their free throws well, good assists, just some things to work on and tweak till they get to conference opponents.
They're a fast team. It's going to be exciting to see what they do, but ACU preparing for their next matchup, it's going to be a really, really special one. Let's take a look at our final highlights for this evening's matchup. Between everything that they've seen tonight, there was a lot of electric plays, and it's going to be exciting to see if that continues, if that's a trend that continues as we go forward. ACU, McMurray, lots of awesome moments in this game, but there's some strong dunks like that and a lot of special moments on defense and offense.
Absolutely. These Wildcats and these Warhawks have a lot to look forward to in a long season that ends a long time from now. They have a lot to work on, a lot to look forward to. Good on these Wildcats and these Warhawks. A great first game for both teams.
Final score 92-55 as we look at these final highlights. An exciting game of lots of electric moments. And as we look forward to the future and see what it's going to look like for the rest of this year. We're going to throw it back to Grant, back in the Moody Coliseum. This is Josiah Winnell and Kason Higgins. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thanks, gang. 92-55 the final score. Coach, just a couple of final thoughts from opening night.
Well, I think there were some good things accomplished by both schools. Bolton needs to get his group together and change the culture a little bit, and I think he did that. It's a good step tonight. And Tanner, on the other hand, he saw some good stuff. He ran a lot of kids in and out. We didn't see a lot of chemistry, but we saw a lot of good defense.
Yeah, and it'll get tougher, as we said, on Thursday night when Abilene Christian welcomes in Omaha, and we'll have the broadcast for you on Thursday night. Thanks to everyone who made it possible tonight, for Zion Webb, for the gang on the desk, and for Coach Ron Holmes. I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching WAC Basketball on ESPN+.